Outlander's brutal finale made Sam Heughan rethink one of his own key scenes. In the latest episode of the Times new TV podcast, Can't Stop Watching, host and staff writer Yvonne Villarreal asks Outlander heartthrob Sam Heughan about the Starz drama's brutal Season 5 finale, in which Claire, Katrina Balfe, his character Jamie's great love, is kidnapped and raped. It's such a powerful and difficult subject. We all wanted to get it right. The times have changed. I think the show has changed. Jamie gets raped in Season 1, and it was very graphic. Now, I don't know if I would have done that. But it is what it is, and I think at that time we felt it was the right thing to do. This time, I think very cleverly, the writers have done something different. I think it's a really emotional and very hard to watch episode, but it's stylized. We were very involved in that, myself and Katrina. We really tried to find the right tone to it and make it less about the brutality and more about Claire trying to find some comfort and escapism in her mind during this trauma, and she of course goes back to Jamie and tries to imagine a world with him. Heughan also talks about learning the Highland fling, Jamie's glasses becoming fodder for memes and the reality TV show he's been watching in self-quarantine. Listen to the entire conversation in episode 4 of Can't Stop Watching, and be sure to listen to previous interviews with Milo Ventimiglia, MJ Rodriguez, and David Harbour wherever you get your podcasts. All season I've been poised, waiting for the consequences for Dr. Claire Beecham Randall Fraser meddling with history to become clear, for some universal punishment visited upon her for trying to impose any modern hindsight upon the past. But the brutal attack that takes place in the Outlander Season 5 finale feels much more personal than any laws of timeline continuity. Claire doesn't suffer because she's a time traveler, but rather because she's a woman. Spoilers for Outlander 5x12. Never, my love. Content warning for discussions of sexual assault. Because rape is such a part of Outlander's narrative bloodline, there's always been an odd sense that Claire couldn't outrun it forever, that at some point she would join the ranks of characters who had been brutalized by another. This is not to disregard the fact that Claire has already had sex against her will in Season 2, when King Louis XIV fucks her in exchange for Jamie's freedom in France despite the fact that she does not want to do it. However, she had thus far escaped the awful fates that had befallen both Jamie and her daughter Brianna. The experience of sexual assault as a show of power, as a way of reducing the other person to an object to be used. When it finally happens to Claire, the assault occurs at the hands of Lionel Brown and his men in a horrific gang rape. For him, it's revenge for her medical advice pamphlets, written as Dr. Rawlings, educating local women of the time in methods of contraception that give them enough agency in the bedroom to not have sex with their husbands at certain times of the month, i.e., for Lionel's abused wife to not constantly be available to him. Kidnapping Claire in last week's episode Journey Cake and dragging her along to Brownsville, beating and stabbing her, then raping her while she's bound and helpless, is Lionel's way of violently putting her in her place, reminding her what it means to be a woman in the 1700s. For the rest of his men who follow his example, it's simply because she's there.